left, Jess on his right. Hey, hold up, don't start a fight. He's got you covered with all the sports. Don't fret, he's wearing shorts. It's time for Waking Jake in the morning, Waking Jake at night. Jake sucks.
Ooh, baby. Bang Biscuit. Good morning, Bakers. What a sports weekend. Holy smokes. You couldn't turn a pixie on the 4th of July with running a sports event this weekend. As BBD always says, producer BBD, myself, Jake Ronald Storielli. Reason why my middle name's Ronald. Got a shout out on today's Weekly Dumb. Get ready for that in 12 hours when we finally let Zach off his hook and release it to the world. Good morning, David. How are you, my friend?
Jake, all things considered, I'm doing pretty well.
And I think we'll talk about those all things considered pretty early. Because we do start out, man, Phil Mickelson, an older man, won a golf tournament. It's actually pretty cool. We're not starting there. There's a Bucks. Bucks went to OT. Chris Middleton with the dagger.
Cool shot.
It's a cool shot. Good for him. Happy for him.
I've got Bucks takes.
Ooh, BBD's got Bucks takes. Stay tuned for that. But the game of the night came from Madison Square Garden. The Mecca, as it's been referred to. The first playoff game there in 8 years. Do I have that number right? Yeah.
Yes.
2013, I think.
Third of my life.
The Atlanta Hawks, wow, come in to face the New York Knicks. A ruckus crowd. I think there was close to 20K people there.
I believe, at least ahead of time, they were saying the number was 15, and I think the whole Garden holds 20.
I think I saw 19 somewhere, but
maybe.
Who knows? The Garden was rocking.
Rules keep changing.
Garden was rocking, and it was a good time, except for the Knicks early. Knicks got outplayed in the first quarter, 24-16. Nothing was going in. It was a little uglier than that before they got a couple shots to fall at the end. The Knicks turn it on in the second half. Alec Burks, Derrick Rose, and young Emmanuel Quickley showed up with a couple early buckets. That Atlanta was up 2 at halftime, but it felt like this was going to be a great game, and it felt like the Knicks' momentum train was going, and that took place in the third. They went up, and they also I don't want to say they blew it in the third. That sounds dramatic. But in the third quarter, the Knicks got going to the point where they had a 73-66 lead with a minute left, and then they got Lou-willed a little bit. The Knicks had a shot. Randall missed a layup. R.J. Barrett missed a 3 that would have stretched the lead to 10 instead.
A 3 he's been hitting most of the season.
R.J. Barrett's been a good three-point shooter for the second half of the season, if not longer.
Particularly from that corner.
Essentially the whole season. And then Lou Will, 15-foot jumper, and then he makes a 3. It's a 2-point Knicks lead heading into the fourth. They go back and forth. Some good basketball, man. Derrick Rose, like I said. Julius Randle trying to find it. He made a tough 3. Alec Burks stepped up for the Knicks. He finished with 27 points in this one. Kind of a national coming out party for him. A lot of people were like, who is this dude? A guy that's been a streaky yet solid player for the Knicks all season. Alec Burks went off. R.J. Barrett with a dunk from the gods earlier in the game, but down the stretch, it's the Trae Young show. Trae Young gets to the free throw line. A little bit of a controversial call, but he makes his free throws. Derrick Rose comes back down the court. He makes a big floater to tie it back up. And then they put Frank Ntilikina in for his second 20-second stint of the game. Gets absolutely roasted by Trae Young. Makes the floater. Trae Young mentions to the crowd that it seemingly has gotten a little quieter in here. Knicks, pretty horrible inbounds. They don't really get a shot off. Which doesn't get acknowledged.
Yeah, we
but it was also
just did an episode of
0.9.
Talking Knicks, and we kind of didn't acknowledge that last inbound play. Like, what?
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like a loss, but you'd also like to get a shot up.
Better shot. Using Burks as the inbounder was nuts.
A little odd. Hawks win 107 to 105. Trae Young is the storyline. It's quiet as fuck in here. That's what he said a couple times. Excuse my French. Alec Burks, 27 points. Trae Young had 32, 10 assists, only 2 turnovers, 7 rebounds. Took over the game at the end. That's kind of what you ask of your star player. A bummer for Knicks fans. Obviously, myself and BBD, Talking Knicks, we just recorded an episode this morning. So if you want to either drink those tears or feel that out, go for it. But Knicks lose. I do think it was a true game of the night. Twitter was getting involved. When JOMBOY gets involved on some NBA basketball, it's a conversation. And a lot of that was around Trae, which, I've got some Atlanta fans in the weeds of my Twitter right now because I said Trae Young is climbing least favorite player list. And I still do believe in that, and I think I had a nice conversation with a couple fans that wanted to have conversations. I was like, yeah, like one guy was like, isn't he fun and good for the sport? And I was like, yeah, I mean, fun and disliked often work well in sports. A lot of sports have the heel, and I think Trae has that a little bit, and I think some of it's being undersized. I think some of it, unfortunately, is the hair, which I'm not trying to drive home, but a lot of it is his style of play. A lot of the same things people disliked about Harden for years. Trae Young has some of that, trying to bait into fouls, and it's not the prettiest brand of basketball. Excited to see how the rest of the series goes. Hawks take game 1, 107 to 105. And they don't play a game till Wednesday, I think, which is a little ridiculous. But the game of the night was brought to you by Dugout Mugs. Ho! Boom, boom, boom. Everybody say way-ho, way-ho. Dugout Mugs, you guys know them. They got a little Father's Day campaign going on right now. What if I told you guys we got another Jake promo code? Does that do something for you? Does that put a little lead in your pencil?
Should.
Meatball fall down my leg? Go check out Dugout Mugs if you haven't yet. They're on the desk. I'm going to drink water out of it. I'll prove it's not fake. I'll make a big noise. That was real.
Audio only crowd loved that.
Oh, yeah. Dugout Mugs, they're the best. I mean, they're baseball bats that are now refurbished for serving liquid. And it kind of doesn't get better than that. And if you've ever held one, you're like, oh, I get it now. This is kind of badass. The perfect Father's Day gift. The perfect Father's Day gift. And they're giving us promo code Jake. So, Bakers, I know you guys are the real ones. Always asking how you can help, how you can be involved. Promo code Jake. Dugout Mugs gets you 35% off. First,
they're doing one of their crazy deals. I forget the exact number.
I believe it's 35. Yeah, the number's not listed, but they're doing their first 300. The next 300 get 30. So I'd assume
the sooner you act on it, the better you're.
Promo code Jake. Talking Yanks, talking baseball. Maybe we'll get a Waking Jake up there. That'd be pretty cool. I kind of want that.
Yeah, at minimum, you can probably download our logo somewhere and upload your custom image.
Yeah, your custom one that we should probably just do. But if you want to do it, go knock yourself out. Go get one. If you're getting a Father's Day gift, this is the king of them.
They've got like all the baseball licensing stuff, and you can get your team's logo
players,
on there,
teams,
league
Judge,
stuff.
Yanks, anything you like. Maybe there's a Trae Young one. Maybe there's not. Dugout Mugs, promo code Jake. Go check them out. So that's the game of the night. I do think that was the story. I think the time of the game helped. Sunday night.
It was like the prime time.
Yeah. 7 p.m. Eastern, Sunday night. First Knicks playoff game in a while. Gardens, Spike Lee,
They
Tracy
are two
Morgan.
very evenly matched teams.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's going to be a really good series, and I think that's man, basketball internet gets tough because I think streets are going to be ugly for a little bit. You know, Hawks fans, Knicks fans, I think the Knicks are going to come back in this series and be very involved. And, Hawks fans writing a lot of checks after one game. So we'll see how that goes. And always the underside of the internet comes up. Nets trying to start like a Knicks rivalry. Don't care. Never cared. So that's going on too.
To their credit, like just Nets people in general, there are a lot of Knicks fans that while saying that they don't care about the Nets, do talk about them a lot.
Sure.
It goes both ways, but
there was reportedly a Nets suck chant. There was reportedly an Altuve chant. That was
I think
false,
the Altuve one was for sure shut down. The Nets one.
And yeah, I mean, if Knicks fans are chanting
definitely happened.
Nets suck while they're losing a playoff game, that's a bad look, Knicks fans. So that's all right. Knicks, Julius Randle played really bad after we sung his praises on here and talking Knicks all season. I think it's one game, fam. Expecting him to be better. But this series is going to be fun. I think it's going to be a good watch. So Wednesday night is the next game.
Yeah, it's very weird. They got like the 2 full days off. Yankees and Knicks both being off tonight. It's a grinding my gears situation. There's only 2 playoff games tonight as well. So probably be locked into the Bucks. But
man, I think the NBA's got it figured out to a degree. Knicks have
for their schedule, yeah, it's fine.
Knicks
I wish it lined up better with ours.
Knicks have a Wednesday game, and then they're back Friday.
Yeah,
and I'd assume their next game after that Sunday. Let's see.
Probably.
Yep. So
those are the 4 guaranteed games. You would think the extra day off would come on the travel day, but I'm guessing half the teams that comes there and half the teams that doesn't.
And then if the series continues, which it will, it's another Wednesday and then Friday. So what Adam Silver has done is this series, the first 6 games, and 4 of them will be primetime weekend games.
It'll play.
Makes sense. BBD, let's go through the NBA games. We'll talk a little baseball at the end. We also have talking baseball after this for a lot of baseball, but it's NBA playoffs opening weekend. It's exciting stuff. Should we go? Are we Cron Pod? How do you think we should do this? East or West?
I wrote them on our sheet in Cron Pod order, but I don't know if you're even looking at that.
Let's go Cron Pod. We'll walk through the weekend. The first game that opened it up, Ryan Ruocco on the call, our guy, 2 p.m. Saturday. So we'll walk through our weekends. Yankees played at 1 Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So we watched that. What game was that? That was
the
Cole.
blowout. The comparative
Cole
blowout
7-0 blowout. Okay,
I guess
so
7-0.
yeah, we watched that. Heat Bucks is in the background. Was getting updates on my phone because I was watching the Yankees. This game, I think, very well could have been a game of the night. Rewatching the highlights, and we teased what happens at the end early. But this was the rematch. The Heat knocked out the Bucks last year. Heat went on to the finals. And we have a lot of the same cores back. Some Drew Holiday action. That's fun. PJ Tucker. The storylines in this game, well, we'll get to Chris Middleton. Giannis, 26 and 18. Yep. Drew Holiday, 20 and 11. Yep. Jimmy Butler for the Heat, 27, 10 and 8. And then the guy who really stepped up for the Heat was Duncan Robinson, 24 points, 7 of 13 from 3. Dragic, that guy, man, he hit a big shot in this one, and that's part of the reason I love that dude. I feel like every time I've seen Goran Dragic take a big shot, it goes in. I like that guy. I really wanted the Knicks to try to find a way, but the Heat kept him.
He contributes to winning.
The story, this game goes to overtime, and the story ends up being Chris Middleton because for years with this Bucks team, Middleton's been, I don't want to say the joke, but he's been this is the weakness. Like, sure,
Chris Middleton's your second best player.
Giannis is great, but what can you win with Chris Middleton as your
other guy on a max and
as your 2? And he showed him, I can sink this in your eye. And it was, it wasn't like a pretty basketball play. It was Chris Middleton kind of dribbled around, waited for the clock to run out, and took a shot, and it went in, which that's what a lot of the best players in this league do. So good for Chris Middleton. Bucks take the 1-0 lead. They are one of the follow-up games tonight. If you're interested in a little Monday night basketball.
I believe they are 7:30 tonight, the Bucks.
I accidentally clicked ahead too far. Yes, they are the 7:30 game tonight. So, East Coast, looking for sports. Bang biscuit. So, first day of NBA playoffs continues. Mavs Clips. Watched a lot of this game. Luka show versus PG and Kawhi. Last I saw you guys on Wake and Jake, I said, why not take the Clippers out of the West? I won't back down. But they got beat. They got beat by Luka. 31-10 and 11. Another playoff triple-double. He's setting records there for youth and his ability to do that. Tim Hardaway Jr. has been playing really good basketball, which a little twist in the knife to Knicks fans because they basically traded Porzingis to get off of his contract, which is tough. And, yeah, I don't know. In this Clippers game, they made a little bit of a run, and you thought, okay, Kawhi, Paul George, they're about to turn up the screws on this one. Playoff P, everyone's favorite. And they caught up once, but every time the Mavs would just pull back ahead, 3 points, 6 points, the Clippers could never catch them. So, in L.A., a big win for the Mavs. Another 5-4 series. The 5 gets the first game on the road. Luka's a beast, man. God, Luka's a beast. I don't know. I'm still not writing off the Clippers. I mean, I'm not writing off any team that loses the first game. Actually, there's one series I think I am. In a contested series. Like, I'm not 1A, blah, blah, blah. And speaking of that, Nets Celtics. 104-93. Celtics actually had the early lead in this game for a while. Is it going to become a talking point? No. The Nets have a different gear. Harden, how's your 21-9-8? Kyrie, 29 on 11 of 20 shooting. KD, 32 and 12. I know they were comparing them to all the big threes that have happened in NBA history. And guess what? They're the best. It's not a conversation. Although I do think LeBron, Wade, and Bosch's first game, they combined for like 81 points or something. Something silly. Something silly. Yeah, Celtics, they were in on this one. Kemba had another bad playoff game. You won't find a bigger Kemba Walker fan than me. UConn, he hit some of the most fun shots in UConn history. Feel like his playoff numbers, and he got a couple stats to pad him at the end, but the game was already over, so it looks better than it was. And there's something about smaller point guards in NBA playoffs, which, hey, Trae Young proved me wrong. I mean, the Celtics team is a dead duck in the water, but it looked like they might have had a chance to sneak out game one. Nets win it. And then the late night game that day, and maybe we'll take a pause before we do Sunday, and I'll have you get in here, BBD. Blazers beat the Nuggets. Tame time. God. Love me some Damian Lillard. If that guy finds a way into a Knicks jersey one day, that'd be all-time stuff in my book. But Portland's got him, and he was awesome. 34 points, 13 assists. McCollum, 21. Carmelo, 18. And how about Nurkic? Nurkic is kind of a beast. I think he has what's Nurkic's nickname? He's like the Serbian monster or something.
The Serbian monster.
I mean, if that's wrong, the Bosnian bear. Okay.
Yeah, okay, so
I feel better.
Serbia and Bosnia are kind of enemies.
Yeah,
but
it's a little bit on me. Man, the Blazers turned it on at one point to run away with this game. And arguably the least competitive game of the weekend? Yeah, I think so.
Right?
I think so.
At least by final score.
That was late night Saturday. So Blazers beat the Nuggets. They go up 1-0. And another Jokic was awesome. Michael Porter Jr. gets buckets. The biggest thing that stood out from this game was Allie LaForce was the on-court, in-between quarter interviewee, and she called Nuggets head coach Michael Malone, Mike, and he said, it's Michael. And it's
Didn't he used to be
It's like,
Mike
okay,
Malone?
guy. Like, if you're a Michael, like, if you prefer to go by Michael, I get that. And if that's your, it's your name, good. But you got to know some Mikes are coming along the way. And
He's, like, been Mike Malone, like, officially. I wasn't aware that I'm finding out that happened now.
yeah. I'll double check that because maybe I was a little funky on the couch. But no, I'm pretty sure that happened. So I don't know. Michael Malone kind of lost a fan of me. So that's the Saturday slate. BBD, before we do the rest of Sunday, I was kind of cruising there. What jumps out from those games? Mavs Clips, Celts Nets, Blazers Nugs, and Heat Bucks.
Those games, Nets, it was very easy for them. That's kind of the other game I watched all of. Saturday night. My friends and I watched that game together because my friend is a big Net fan. Also, I just made our homer draft pick, Austin Meadows.
Huge.
Because we're out of time, and I didn't want to think about it.
Love the pick.
And, yeah, I mean, it just felt that first half, Celtics were up a little bit. It's kind of like, all right. I mean, if you're the Nets, kind of just, like, get it within 10 before half.
Yeah.
And it's, like, exactly what happened. You're good. Yeah. They have that gear. Ben had discussed the Bucks. My take on them.
Oh, BBD's Bucks take.
I just kind of don't believe in them.
Okay. That's fair.
I like everybody. Just kind of don't believe in them. Like, they can win this series. I don't believe them as a finals team.
Okay.
Unless they do it. I forget what exactly it was about it that got me.
You didn't like something.
I think it's just like the Heat. They got back in there, and it was like, oh, well-coached team. They have the same group as last year. They're going to give them a good fight. Bucks kind of just, like, don't. I don't know.
Okay.
There's something specific.
Is it the
so
path?
Now it's, like,
Would
bad.
they have a bad path?
I think they get the Nets next round, too. So that is an easy cop-out answer.
Because, yeah, the Bucks are the 3 seed, right?
Yeah.
Nets are the 2.
And did the Heat have a lead in this, or the Bucks blew a lead at one point? It's like...
If
they
not,
lose this, and they lose. They get out this series. Giannis has the reputation of being like an early exit guy. We talked about that a little bit last week. And even if they get out in the second round, it's still a second round exit. They'd be losing to the Nets, but
yeah, I mean,
it's just tough. And it's just tough for them. They gave up all the assets to bring Drew Holiday in, and I don't mind. I like Drew Holiday's fit there. But they're not going to be able to do a major upgrade from here.
Yeah, this is kind of it.
It's like if they can't figure it out with this group. I mean, you can get lucky on picks and
sure
anything. Luck is huge.
This is their group.
Yeah.
This is what they're
this
in
is the
on.
core.
It's Giannis, Middleton, Drew Holiday. And yeah, I mean, we...
Middleton's good. I have been a Middleton fan for a while.
Okay. Yeah, the only thing I'd say, I mean, the NBA, like a lot
it's also one game.
Like a lot of sports, you don't do it until you do it. That's some Yogi Berra stuff, but, Kyle Lowry didn't do it until he was with Kawhi, and they did it. But, yeah, we'll see. And, I mean, they were,
it's the series I'm, like, watching.
Nets round 2, I mean, that's going to be year 3 versus our 3. Like... let Brook Lopez shoot his threes, but...
And either way for the Nets, that was part of the... I mean, I picked the Sixers when we did our picks last week, mostly just to be different, because I do, in my heart of hearts, think the Nets win. But the Sixers are going to get either the Hawks or Knicks, who they are substantially better than. The Nets are going to get either the Heat or Bucks. So
right.
Going to give you a series or have possibly the best player on the floor. Probably not, but...
No, I mean, the Sixers could play 9 games before they go to the Eastern Conference Finals, where the Bucks or the Nets could play 14,
Yeah.
like very realistically. So something to track going forward. Let's bang out the rest of the games, BBD, so we can
Just keep it
moving, talk about them. So let's see. So that was the full Saturday slate. The Sunday slate, Wizards, Sixers. How's your Russell Westbrook, 16-14, Bradley Veal, 33, 10-6, and BBD's guy, Davis Bertans, 14 points. Embiid goes for 30-6. Simmons, 15-15. He's starting to enter, I forget if you or Greg said this, but he's entering Draymond territory stat-wise. Like, that's a great game, but it's also like, holy smokes, man. Tobias Harris, 37 points. Circle that, man. That's another guy. I don't know if you want to lump him with Middleton. I don't know how you want to do it. But
he was like, if you remember All-Star break time, he was like the biggest All-Star snub this year.
Like, that's a guy who's done it, but also hasn't done it at all. Like, a lot of people think Tobias Harris is empty stats. You know, I mean, he's the scorer on the number 1 seed Sixers. So, yeah, I don't know. That game finishes Sixers 125, Wizards 118. That's kind of a dead duck series if we're being honest. Suns beat the Lakers 99-90. How about it? Anthony Davis 13-7. He looks banged up. LeBron 18-7-10. I mean, for a LeBron playoff game, that's kind of a lower stat line you're going to see. A lot of the role players, Harrell, Schroeder, Drummond, and Caruso double figures, but I think the Lakers are still kind of figuring out a lot. Like the whole Drummond
There's also
experiment.
And just LeBron teams don't win game 1.
Yeah,
so that's
they
also
don't care.
Like part of the formula.
I like that. I like that theory. Good for Phoenix, man. I mean, you know, they got shat on a lot coming into this series. That I think if they lose this game, we'd be saying the series is over. This is a classic. Lakers lost game 1, and it feels like the series started. It gets a little dramatic. Chris Paul gets hurt in this one, and if you've been following Chris Paul's career, it's like, God damn it. Because every playoff line, every story ends with Chris Paul being hurt. So hope he's okay. Devin Booker, 34 points, 7 and 8. Good for him. DeAndre Ayton, man, 21-16. I don't watch a ton of DeAndre Ayton. All I know is that DeAndre Ayton was the number 1 pick, 14-10, 22 years old, and like a huge athletic body. I don't know. Everyone was like, I think the Lakers are going to kill everybody inside. I guess LeBron's a part of that too because he ends up inside. But I don't know. This could be a big series for DeAndre Ayton. I'm interested to see what that looks like. I don't watch a ton of DeAndre Ayton.
Ayton, like I know all the numbers have been there like the last couple of years, and everyone was like, yeah, they don't like regret having him. But part of it was also they picked him over Luka, and
right.
That was that year, right? I'm not wrong.
I believe so.
So it's just like always that in the back of your head, I think. So Ayton got off to kind of a bad start, and like just like the national landscape.
Imagine the Suns with Luka.
Yeah,
that doesn't get talked about enough. Lakers Suns, we did. Knicks Hawks. The final game, Grizzlies Jazz. What up, late night crew? Donovan Mitchell, who's been out, stayed out. They were hoping he'd be back for this game. He was not. I mean, a little bit of a playoffs coming out party. Dylan Brooks, 31-7, mean on both ends. Almost got caught on camera headbutting Mike Conley. It wasn't a headbutt, but it was a headbutt.
Conley's old team. Just occurred to me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Kyle Anderson for the Grizzlies literally looks like he moves in slow motion. It's pretty bizarre sometimes. I think his nickname is Slow-Mo.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild. Next Grizzlies game, watch just to see and be like, that doesn't make sense.
And he had like a fast break yesterday, and he was somehow he just like can keep a guy behind him. So he's doing some cool hip stuff.
It's one of the cool things about basketball. It's angles and it's creativity and footwork, and it's, Paul Pierce was so good for so long by never being the fastest, strongest guy on the court, but he could get the angle and he could get to where he needed to be. Ja Morant with a big game, 26 points. Bogdanovich messes me up. I feel like a dumb white guy.
Both of them have
playing back-to-back games. It's tough. Bogdan and Bojan.
Yeah.
29 points. He had a bad foul. Nobody cares about that. Joe Ingles hit the first shot, which was cool. Most importantly, I don't like the Jazz's court. I'm normally not a court guy. I'm with the Wake and Jake Bakers. This is a safe place. Sometimes the internet's not a safe place. So is the desk in shot? Can I show the desk at all?
I can pan
lower the
down
camera just a little bit. So this desk is brown. And this, for a basketball court, this would be dark. Okay. BBD, you have it up in the corner of the screen right now. Their court is so white. And that obviously opens up a lot of Utah jokes.
It is a bit jarring looking at it right now. In real time, watching the first half of the game before I went to sleep.
I was watching it, and my eyes were kind of bothered, and I was wondering. And then I kind of put it together, dude, you look... The normal color you picture for a basketball court is kind of a soft brown. I don't know. If I Google indoor basketball court. No, I don't care about near me. I just want picture. I don't know. You picture a light brown. And their court is white. White. And again,
their team's doing funky court stuff, but they usually go too dark rather than...
Right.
The Nets have their full gray court.
There was a conversation, let's make our court white. And in Utah, that's just a line of jokes. So that was the Sunday slate. We did a lot of Knicks. Grizz Jazz, man, Dylan Brooks. That dude. I was going to say this about the Heat game. Trevor Ariza was started for the Heat, I believe. And it's just one of those, that guy's felt like he's been every playoffs for the last 10 years, 15 years. Dylan Brooks is going to be that guy. Dylan Brooks is going to find his way onto a lot of playoff teams going forward. He can do it all, 6'7", dribble, pass, shoot, defense. He's going to end up on a lot of playoff basketball teams. That was one of my takeaways. Valanciunas is fun. BBD, what else from the Sunday slate of basketball? Your Sixers, Lakers, Suns, Jazz, Grizz?
Let's see. Well, yeah, the Lakers, Suns already touched on. LeBron teams kind of just don't win game ones. So that forgives the LeBron stat line. AD needs to be better. But, and Ayton and Booker were awesome. I didn't watch the game, but my brother did and gave me the scouting report. Said those two just took over.
BBD bro update.
Kind of showed up as they're an established duo that does stuff. They have Chris Paul on the team, so. But he was out for a little bit,
yeah.
Memphis is building good stuff, but
Jeremy in the chat pegged it perfectly. This is a basketball court color. The
that
dugout
would be
mug.
the default starting point color.
Yes. And I mean, the Jazz court looks like a dugout mug if you put a couple layers of white lacquer on it. You'd say there's so much damn lacquer on that thing. Over under until Dylan Brooks goes bald. That would help, I think, what he wants his role to be. I think he's got a full head of hair. He's kind of got the good Trae Young.
Yeah, it looks like it's not thinning. He's good. Looking at a picture that I think is from this year, he's good. But maybe if he full shaves.
I think for what he wants his identity to be, I could see the shaved head coming into play. I think for now it's good.
When he gets off his rookie deal.
It's going to be interesting.
That I assume he's on.
The Grizzlies have been one of these even when they were relevant, they were never relevant because it was Conley, it was Zach Randolph, it was Tony Allen, who I listened to on Rosillo's podcast, and he was good. He's good. Awesome. He was real, which is all you like to hear. He they asked him about Kevin Garnett, and they were like, give me your best Garnett story, because he grew up in Chicago, which was like around Garnett, and then he was on the Celtics with Garnett, and he had the best description that I ever heard, because they were Russillo. He used to cover the Celtics. He said, KG, everyone, like, guys like him, but KG's tough. Like, he's just got his guard up kind of at all times, but it's not to be mean. It's just how he's wired. And
just an intense dude.
Tony Allen said he's naturally a security guard, like at a game. Like, he's kind of doing his job, but he's very direct and a little loud. He doesn't mean to offend you by it. That's just who he is. He's a security guard. So, I don't know. I really like that. Anything else from the basketball weekend, BBD?
Memphis, I think, I've said it on here a few times, they've got a good young core they're building with they're like developing guys away from being like real.
Yeah.
Like they have the pieces I think that they would want. Obviously, every team is going to make some trade at some point and sign somebody, whatever it is, but
no, they're and I guess this is what I was tying it to before. Like, when the Grizzlies weren't relevant, but they were. I mean, it was Randolph, it was Conley. Everyone hated playing them. They had Marcus Saul. They had some good teams. You always thought the star power on the other teams would prevail, and it kind of did.
Generally did.
It kind of did. Man, they are building something. Desmond Bane, who was a guy we talked a lot in the draft because he thought he might be the Knicks deep cut. He led rookies in three-point shooting percentage this year, 43.2% for a rookie, which that's really good for a 6'5" guy that I think plays defense a little bit too, or can.
Was he? Yeah, he was the last pick of the first round.
You
didn't expect him to really, really help immediately like he has.
He played 18 minutes last night in a playoff game, 3 of 4 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3, a plus 23. I mean, that's skewed a little bit because you can't always go by that. But they're tough, and it's going to be interesting to see. Ja Morant is still really young, really good. Dylan Brooks, not as young, but NBA young and good. Slow-mo, I don't know how that plays out. Jaren Jackson Jr., I think he was hurt. So he's still trying to build up. But yeah, man, they might drag the Jazz through a series, which we'll see. Like I said, I'm not going to overreact to one game, but Donovan Mitchell's hurt. He's the Jazz clear best player. So, no, very interested to see how that develops. Like, the Grizzlies don't care about a lot of shit NBA teams do. Like, I hate to be rude if you're listening to this, but do you know the Grizzlies head coach's name?
Bickerstaff?
It's not Bickerstaff anymore. It's Taylor Jenkins.
Yeah, no, okay, not one of the 3 names I was thinking of.
The Grizzlies don't care. They don't care about getting a name. Like, they went out and they got a dude who they think can be a good coach for their team. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. They're building something. They're the youngest team in the league, or they're the youngest team in the playoffs. I might be getting that wrong. I don't know. They're building something there. Like, Ja Morant is a star.
He had kind of his coming out party with that Warriors game, and a good game yesterday. I don't think it wasn't the story of the game, but
they'll need a little bit more to come around it. But yeah, man, the Grizz are building something, and it's fun. And yeah, I mean, Utah has a good home court besides the actual court. But yeah, we'll see if Donovan Mitchell is back. I mean, the pressure Like, the pressure is clearly on the Jazz. They're the 1 seed. They're the 1 seed in the West. And we're talking about they might get a good series. They might get a good series from the 8 seed Grizzlies. If the Lakers were the 1 seed, would we be saying that the 8 seed Grizzlies would give them a good series? No.
No. Even with a game 1 drop.
No. Like, the safe bet would still be probably in 5. So, I mean, that's kind of how the NBA sorts itself out a lot of times. Anything else from the week? I mean, that's a lot of it. We'll see. NBA schedule is going to be weird. It's definitely a weird, like, I'd say it's what's the NBA's missing, but I think the primetime slots are more important. But, like, we would be so excited to watch Trae Young versus the Knicks again, you know? And I think the NBA is kind of missing that a little bit. Like, feed off that energy from last night. But I don't know. I'm sure they've got numbers. And I don't. We're not a math pod. We're not a math pod here. BBD, a little bit of the baseball. Let's see. DeGrom's coming back. The Yanks are hot. The AL East is hot in the streets. Red Sox and Rays are tied atop the AL East. The Rays have won 10 in a row.
Is that real?
Do I have those numbers right? I think so. Internet may be fighting us right now. But, yeah, the Rays have figured it out. Since the Yankees series, where they looked awful, the Rays have gotten it going. Them and the Red Sox are 29-19. The Yankees have won 6 straight. They are 28-19, so they're a half game back, tied in the loss column. The AL East is getting fun. Toronto has lost 5 in a row. Watch out for that. In the Central, the Chicago White Sox got beat up by the Yanks a little bit, but luckily for them, the Indians Royals ain't been doing much. I might throw a don't sleep on the Twins out there. The Twins have a really easy schedule coming up. I think they go Baltimore, Detroit, Baltimore, Detroit. Like, if there's a time to go 11-2, like it's now.
They can take care of business.
And that would bring them close to 500.
Around 500 by end of May.
Sometimes in baseball, like that's... Sometimes you got to ignore how it happens. We'll see. I mean, the Twins have to prove anything before you can really say that. But might say it on Talking Baseball later. Oakland Athletics are back atop the AL West with a negative run differential. A game and a half up on the Houston Astros. The Astros lost 3. Who the hell did they play?
The Rangers.
Astros. Come on. What are you doing? Hearn Hunch, baby. He got a second win.
Hell yeah.
Love Taylor Hearn. Love Taylor Hearn. What's going on in the NL? The Mets are still atop the NL East.
Only team above 500 still? Yep.
God. NL East is a mess. I think I saw it in our daily Talking Baseball preview of the day graphic. I think the whole division is separated by 2.5 games.
Mm-hmm.
Are Marlins still at the bottom?
They've passed the Nationals.
Oh, that's right. We're out on the Nationals.
Yeah, Nationals are we're out on them. They're 3 below 500, 2.5 out of first. But we're out.
Yeah, I hate the Nats. I think
Phillies and Braves both a game and a half back of the Mets.
I think my guy Foolish Baseball tweeted out. He's like, the Nationals just exist. And it's so true. It's so true. Also in the NL, the Cardinals are still atop the Central. The Cubs, 24-22, good for them. Positive run differential. Wow.
Good win for them last night, I guess.
How about that? Yeah, good Sunday night baseball. That had some potential for this show. Didn't happen. That's okay. Sometimes that's God's clam. Brewers are 500. Reds, 20-25. Oh, boy. Jesse Winker going nuts, too. Padres are atop the NL West.
Wow.
Ooh, my Giants lost. So Padres have won 9 straight. Dodgers have won 7 straight. And the San Francisco Giants are now a game back of the Dodgers, 2 games back of the Padres. Who'd my Giants play?
Giants played the Dodgers. Dodgers swept.
There you go. There you go. So that's a little bit of the Dodgers welcoming them.
There's a chance my sheet didn't refresh. I'm looking at the Talking Baseball sheet, and the internet's fighting us.
Okay. No, I think you're right. The internet is fighting us right now. 2-1, 6-3,
We're
11,
good.
5.
Yankees are right, so that is what happened.
Okay. So, yeah, that's a big brother move right there. If I'm the Giants, my goal would to not play the Dodgers. That's what I would do.
You cannot play them as often as possible.
That's what I would do as their coach. Man, baseball's a funny sport. And we're in the business of kind of reacting and what we're feeling. The Dodgers played so bad for a while. So bad. And, there was never a chance in our head that they were a bad team. I kind of feel that way still about the Twins, but also not really, just because their franchise doesn't win stuff. So I think those thoughts can get darker.
And the Dodgers bottoming out, they had the good Aprils. They bottomed out. Like they got back to 500 or close to it. They might have not even gotten there.
Yeah, no, they were right around it. I don't think they ever went under.
But they might have touched whatever.
I wish she touched it. BBD. We'll be talking a lot of Talking Baseball in a little under an hour.
Yeah, very soon.
You, me, Jom, Trevor Plouffe out in Cali. Let's keep it moving for now. Internet half went out. Hey, hockey. I know you guys are going. I'm excited. I actually watched some playoff hockey. I watched the 4-4 overtime game, Nashville. So I'm trying. I love playoff hockey, man. The intensity can't be beat. I'll probably watch some playoff hockey tonight, but I can't give you anything. I can't give you any analysis. I can't tell you I like this guy. My Boston friends are excited for Tuukka Rask. Do you want that? Hockey people, I appreciate you, and hockey playoffs are tough to beat, but I can't give you anything. I don't have thoughts or opinions.
You don't want us to fake it.
No, that's not what we do here. So I'm excited for you. Enjoy the hockey playoffs. But for now, let's go to the comment of the day. Comment of the day, Bakers. I ask you guys to bake the algorithm. You guys have been doing a phenomenal job. Awesome job baking the algorithm. We're getting a lot of listens. And we're just growing. The subscribers are up to 2.31. That was my ask from Thursday's episode, was let's get over 2.3. We did it. So thank you guys. Keep liking, keep watching, keep sharing. Appreciate it so much. Anthony O'Neill asks, I need to know who sings the theme song, LMAO. Nick Bubak. And he's an international superstar. Also, Anthony O'Neill asks, where's the Bobby Skinner versus Chris Rose no holds bar match? Need to make that happen. Big fan. Keep it coming, dogs. I appreciate that. Still need to trick Bobby and Chris Rose. Don't need to trick Bobby. Bobby's ready. Do need to trick Chris Rose at one point. And then, okay, is this what you guys wanted? Fresh Juice says, don't forget the NHL. Tavares out with insane concussion from knee to head.
Ow.
Battle of Florida, Panthers versus Lightning. Eastern Division continues to be extremely tight. So there you go. I mean, there's your hockey talk you guys wanted. Thank you guys for baking the algorithm, leaving comments. Everything's going up. YouTube views, podcast listens, the Facebook machine. You got to know how to upload videos to Facebook. Good commercial. So keep baking the algorithm. We appreciate it. You guys are the best. No joke. No lies. Which brings us to our final, last segment of the show. The bro of the night, The bro of the night is easy for me. I teased it a little bit. And I'm kind of becoming this guy, so I guess I'll just lean into it. And we had to talk about it either way, so I might as well make it my bro of the night. It's Phil Mickelson, 50 years old. I don't know if a lot of you appreciate that. I don't know if I fully appreciate it yet. I know I am 31 years old. I went to an indoor driving range this weekend. Kind of cool. Hit some balls. It's nice. I like golf. I'm sore from golfing. I'm sore from playing blitzball in our alley. Phil Mickelson's 50. Your body doesn't feel the same from everything I've heard. My 31-year-old body doesn't feel the same as my 27-year-old body. So I can't imagine how Phil's body was feeling. And, man, it was badass. Like, dude, he outdrove Bryson DeChambeau. You know, the big beefed-up analytics guy who's driving par fives, and we're talking about him. Phil still got it in the bag. He's still got the pop. For him, it's just, is his game going to be there? And can his body hold up? Which you got to ask for the older guys, which you don't have to ask for the younger guys. So, man, this was kind of a perfect storm. Phil, you could see how much the people respond to him. Also mentioned on Weekly Dumb. Phil has an everyman quality to him while very much not being the everyman. But that's what makes guys endearing to us. I literally 25 years ago, my Uncle Ronnie, who I am named after, my middle name, who was an everyman. He was a guy that worked counter at a job. He actually worked in electrical supplies and distribution, my previous field. So he was, Uncle Ronnie was an everyman, good family man, worked hard, relaxed, would watch the Yanks, watch golf. And like Phil Mickelson was his everyman. Loved Phil, lefty. I think something about that's endearing for some sick reason in our society. And Phil wins at age 50, the oldest to ever win a Masters, and the picture just can't be beat of, I keep wanting to call him Old Tom Rathburn, but that's not his name.
Yeah,
Old Tom Morris. Old Tom Morris is now the third oldest man to win a major, and his picture looks like an 80-year-old gentleman, and it's just unbelievable. The black and white and the beard and all of it. You understand why he was called Old Tom Morris. And how about a little $2.16 million for 4 days of golf, where I paid $60 to hit balls into a fake simulator. So that's the golf world. So congratulations to Lefty. The pictures of the people swarming him were really cool. My buddies were having a blast texting about it. Like, he was with Koepka, and like Koepka was missing for a little bit. Or like, did the people swallow him? What happened? So congratulations. The first to ever do it. 50 years old, won a major, and Tiger saw it, which I know has the golf people excited.
Yeah, people get... You immediately might be dismissive of it because the golf, you play that when you're older. Like all the golfers are kind of older.
Sure.
It's like, the oldest.
The oldest to do it, to win a major. And dude, like a lot of golf used to was a game that your prime was kind of mid to late 30s because like you're smart enough and you've played a lot of golf, but also your body holds up. It's gotten younger. Like any of the new golf guys you're familiar with, Justin Thomas, like Jordan Spieth, Rory McIlroy, those guys won when they were young. Koepka.
They have athleticism to their game.
It's becoming more of a young man's game. So for Phil to do that is really incredible.
It's cool.
BBD, do you have a bro of the night?
I do. Jesse Winker.
Ooh,
5
nice.
homer weekend, 3 homer day. Just having himself a season. It's good for you, Jesse Winker. Probably gonna talk more about him at some point on the Talking Baseball today.
Yeah, man, he is hitting at an insane rate. Him and Castellanos, I think they're 1 and 2 for batting average, with a lot of power.
Yeah, they're both around 13 homer number. Don't know exactly where each of them is. I think Castellanos might have 12. Winker's up to 13.
13. Yeah, I mean, those guys rake.
Yeah, and he had started to come down to earth a little bit. It's like, nice start to the year. 5 homer weekend. He's back.
And snakes. Tatis with crazy numbers for how much he's missed as well, so that's exciting. And yeah, we did this on Talking Yanks the other day, new episode out. Adam Eaton. We were like, how old's Adam Eaton? Turns out he was 32. And we're like, wow, Adam Eaton's been around for a while. He's done a lot. This obviously isn't apples and oranges, but Phil Mickelson is 18 years older than that guy. And we were talking about, Adam Eaton's kind of old. He's our age, but he's also played a lot. And I don't know. He's lived a whole 18-year-old's of life after that. That was phrased really weirdly. So we'll keep it moving because I think I'm going to run to Dunkin'. Maybe have lunch there and get a coffee. BBD, what are we watching tonight, this week?
Well,
a couple playoff games.
When Knicks Hawks come back, it's kind of must watch.
Could be the next game of the night.
I mean, not just because I'm invested in it. Just I think it's the story of the series of this round of the playoffs so far. Bucks Heat tonight. This is the overtime game 1. I'm sure there's some baseball stuff. I'll find a matchup real quick. Rays and Jays facing each other.
Ooh.
Cardinals White Sox are playing. It's that's probably the fun interleague series. Padres Brewers. So there's good stuff to be found.
Watch the sports. More importantly, watch JOMBOY Media. I mentioned we just recorded Talking Knicks. I'm sure Talking Nets is all amped up, so wherever you fall on that line. Talking Yanks, we just recorded. Talking Baseball coming up. Pinstripe Strong, built different. JOMBOY Jake TV is out. Looks like a little Talking Folk there. Are they recording? I like that. Chris Rose rotation. Who's he got today? Do I know?
I listened to it. Trevor Williams.
Trevor Williams, that's right. Go check that out. We've had Trevor on Talking Baseball. He's really cool. Check out everything across JOMBOY Media. We'll see you back here Thursday, I think.
Yes.
Go Sports. Go Sports.